I just want to touch in, if I may. So, first and foremost, to all the members that are here, um, like Kingsley said, I truly apologize that it went the way it did. It was totally unexpected, especially with the stagnation that we had seen within the project. Uh, Man, I did not think it would go that way. I went to mint, I couldn't even mint. Um, and I just want to apologize, for what that is worth to everyone. I just want to address everyone. It was in no way means to hurt any of you as holders. The thought process on my end was, if we can get it minted out and we can get some volume going, we can get some stuff going, and try to pull off what we've been trying to pull off. Even at the $3 price, no one was buying. And I guess I kind of spearheaded the free mint. If anyone's gonna try to take, point it and have an onus about it, and it's, ownership of what happened, I will kind of take the heat on that. Um, it was just at a point where, I wasn't sure what to do with the project. I figured if we can get turned into a free mint, we can get some attention, some from alpha groups, and so on and so forth. And instead, it just got eaten up quicker than you could even get any more notice out or get attention to it. So with that, I'm still here. I'm gonna do everything I can to keep pushing the project. I have not, none of us have walked away. Um, Once again, I understand all of your feelings, and I take them all to heart. And from my heart, I'd like to say, it was no ill intent to the community at all. I just thought it would be a positive movement for the project. So with that, you know, that's that. There's nothing more that I could say except for I'm going to keep pushing to try to build secondary and get some eyes on the project. Um, Kingsley be working on his end, Peaches as well. You know, I hope more people will attend the town hall and we start to see some type of movement. No people dumped a bunch of stuff on the floor after they bought. That's I'm I'm not happy about the way it went, but it did go that way, and now it allows us to at least say the project is sold out, and it wasn't botted out. It was holders, actual people. There may
Yeah,
have been a handful of bots in there, but it was mostly people that bought those up. Um, there's some people that are posting about their new PFPs and their new Peekaboos, and that's great. I, that's all I wanted, was to just help build some momentum. If I have to go in and sweep and then turn around and send out, free NFTs to holders, then that's what I'll do. As much as financially I can do that. I was looking to sweep a bunch and send a bunch out, but for me to sweep 20 pieces, it was, $130 at one point yesterday for gas to sweep stuff at, $1. It was just crazy. So when that point does come, I will be asking, and DMing and asking people that attend the town halls and stuff and that want to see the project succeed. I will be sending them out. I know that doesn't make up for it, but it's a step in the right direction to show my faith towards your guys' support and even still being here. So I appreciate all of you, and once again, truly, I apologize. It was in no way meant to hurt or upset the community. It was to try to hopefully build up and create some people coming in, and at such a low price, people start to see flipping, and so that's something that I'm steady working on, and that's the best I could do. And that's, I've come through with everything that I've said that I would do for the community, and I will keep coming through with everything that I say I'm going to do. If I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to say I'm going to do it. So with that, I appreciate you guys' time. I'm not going to ramble. So thank you.
Thanks, Z. I appreciate it. Real quick, so NFT Crypt, you sent a message talking about the main thing is that we would be upfront with the community ahead of time. Communication is key, and you know that it has been brought up many times in the past. So this is a difficult topic for me in particular because I personally have contradicting feelings on that note. And, I feel like I have my own justifications for why those feelings are valid, just as, community members have their justifications for why they feel their feelings are valid as far as communication goes. But at the end of the day, we have never, ever, ever, ever made a single move in this project without having comms out about it. If we have, then it was something really small. But as it pertains to the major aspects of the project, as it pertains to mints or anything like that, we have always put out comms. Now, I will say that the issue that comes into place on comms is that at times, and there are two specific events, which, are the two most upsetting events for the community, this being one of them, where the comms did not come out early enough. And I will agree to that. I will absolutely agree that there needs to be more communication ahead of time. And again, that's what this kind of town hall, this discussion format of running the project comes into play, is so that we can have active communication and active knowledge about what's going to be happening well before it actually happens. And that's another really great reason to be making this change, is so that we avoid that issue of comms. And I'm not sure if you were specifically saying the comms ahead of time or communication in general, because I have received a couple of personal DMs about communication in general, and I genuinely have opposing feelings on that. Currently, our old announcements channel from before we moved over to AVP is sitting in archives, but I'd be more than happy to unarchive it so that people can go and read back through. We are always talking to the community, and there was a period of like 2 or 3 months where we just sat there and continued trying to do AMAs or town hall meetings and actually talk to the community, where we just really couldn't get the community on board. We were hosting Twitter Spaces and we couldn't get the community into the Twitter Spaces. So if they're like it's a double-edged sword, and I don't want to get into it because I don't want to sit here and upset anybody. I definitely take accountability for the aspects of communication that have been my fault. But I also want it to be known that communication is definitely a two-way thing. We're gonna, we're committing to putting out comms, and we've always committed to putting out comms and everything like that. But it also takes an effort on the community's end to be keeping up to date with stuff. I can't go around and DM every single person individually what's going on just so they get it. We try and keep our pings to a minimum for the most part. I know today it's been a little crazy, but that's because I really wanted to get as many people's attention as I could to get into this town hall. But typically we try and keep pings to a minimum so that we're not annoying people and having people mute the server or whatever, so that, you actually are receiving the information. So I do want to point out just that it is always been a really big part of this project as far as communication goes. But this pivot we're making right now is going to avoid the issue of not being notified soon enough or anything along those lines. Like, that is what we are wanting to eliminate. You also said you didn't even know the price had been lowered, but you weren't in the Discord much during the wilderness period in the AVP server, where I didn't even know where to find info about Peekaboos Universe. Yeah, so that the Peekaboos team definitely played a role in that not being clear enough. But a lot of everything that went down with AVP was kind of just like, we went in there with good intentions and a lot of energy and enthusiasm towards building and creating something new. With AVPs and Peekaboos united together. And there was honestly some really good planning, some really good discussion, and ideas that went into that before we even made the merge. And then after that, we were planning, we were trying to push towards this. And it basically came down to AVP's team. It has been working on something else for the last little while now. And that's kind of where I have a hair stuck on my tongue. I'm sorry if I sound weird. I'm trying to pull it off. But it eventually we just had to pull out because the AVP team has been working on their own separate thing for a little while now, and they, their team was just really caught up in that. So it was clear that, they, not necessarily that they didn't have the interest, but they just did not have the capability to what's the word I'm looking for here, to grow the projects how we had initially discussed it was going to happen, which, is why we're back in here, because we're able to actually take care of our community here. Whereas over in the AVP server, it was not going to work out. So, but anyway, yeah. And I apologize for the AVP, fiasco alone in itself. We never should have left our Discord. We genuinely, like, the AVP Discord was loaded up with alpha channels and stuff, and so just on the pure basis of that alone, we thought by merging the communities, it would give you guys the opportunity to kind of get a fresh perspective from other community members that you maybe don't associate with in other areas of the space, kind of grow our family a little bit more, and also open the door up to you guys with opportunities to gain additional alpha and put some more revenue back in your guys' pockets from the initial standpoint is what it was, and then it was supposed to continue growing and scaling into something more. Domliff, I know the price has been lowered. I never knew the project mint went for free. Yeah, so that's the tricky thing, and that's the huge issue here, Domliff. And if anybody else wasn't aware of that happening, yes, it did happen. If you go back, when was this? It was about 2 weeks ago, I want to say. We made the mint price 0, and we posted about it on our Twitter. And literally right after we posted it on Twitter, we went through and started, putting out comms in Discord and stuff. And essentially before... It honestly, unless I had done it 24 hours in advance, it wouldn't have come in time enough. But before I could really even get the announcement out in the AVP server, we had sold, or not sold, but we had minted like 4,000 additional pieces. So like the mint was basically sold out by that point. And that's why everybody got upset, is they just feel like they didn't have enough of a warning. What about the free mint? It was never announced ahead of time, though. I get what you're saying. We announced it as we did it, and that was simply for the fact of, again, like we've kind of repeated a couple of times now, that we did not expect it to go how it went. We planned on lowering the mint price, or making it free. We posted the announcement on Twitter, and then we went to go communicate it in Discords, because the complete and utter expectation, without reason of a doubt whatsoever, was that we were just going to be, it was going to be a free mint, and we were going to sit on that for a couple of weeks to a month. That was the plan. And then it I won't say spiraled out of control, but the mint took off, and yeah, it just, unfortunately, there wasn't a lot we could do in that situation. Now, had we had the hindsight and the information that we have now, yeah, it absolutely would have gone 100% differently. It would have been effectively communicated for probably a week in advance, for everybody to kind of be aware of and everything. But yeah, like Z said, and like I've said, it was not our intention for that to have happened. You said you've always communicated things ahead of time. Oh, okay, sorry, you just edited that same message. Right, and I'll give that to you. Like I did say that we have always communicated things ahead of time, which we have. And when I stated that, I also went into an explanation and said that the main problem lies, and it's only really been an issue in 2 specific situations, this situation being one of them. The issue is that though we have done it ahead of time, we have not done it early enough ahead of time, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't further ahead in time than, yeah, that's a really weird phrasing. I'm not exactly sure how to get that one out. But yes, we've said it a couple of times. We definitely agree that the making it a free mint was not handled correctly. I'm not standing here saying that we did that the right way, and we have That's not what I'm saying. My words are getting all jumbled. Domliff, what all has been accomplished by Peekaboos project during the time at AVP? What have people missed? Did it got minted by new wallets or from already existing holders? So there were a few already existing holders that went in and minted, and then there were some alpha communities that went in and minted. From every bit of research we've done, because I literally started looking into this when it happened, because we had Mudbutt pipe up and say something about 57 bot accounts holding the collection or something like that, and it just didn't sound right at all. So we went in and we researched from everything we can tell. Out of all of the wallets that minted from the Blackout collection, only one of them looks fishy enough to be a bot wallet, but everyone else was an actual person who we either directly communicated with or are a part of a alpha community that received the same Discord update that we posted in the AVP Discord. Just some people got it, like, we're literally talking seconds to maybe at max a minute faster is what it came down to. So yes, Domlift, to answer your question, it was existing holders, but also new holders. Yes, I'm not saying NFT crypt. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not being clear enough with my words. If we scroll back up through the Peekaboos Town Hall discussion channel, where the transcription bot is writing down everything that I'm saying, I've said we lowered it to a free mint, posted the announcement on Twitter, and then went out and started posting it in Discords. I'm not saying that we put out any announcement prior to making it a free mint. You are absolutely right. We did it after we made the adjustment. You are absolutely correct. That is also what we did when we lowered the mint price initially. When we lowered the mint price from like $60 a unit to like $3 or $5 a unit, we lowered it, and then we put out the announcement to the community letting them know it's been lowered. And like I've said, we definitely learned from this experience. That's why we're making these changes. That's why we're wanting to move forward in a different way so that we avoid this stuff happening ever again. You're welcome. Okay, that's good. That there were also new people. Yeah, that was the one of the bigger driving factors for doing it, like Z said when he was explaining, is, not only did we want to mint out the collection and have the community holding more pieces and everything, but we also wanted new community members. We needed to bring in some new people into the fold. We have incredible community members. There's never been a doubt in my mind about that whatsoever, except for Getter Sold, but that guy's like a year old, and that was all in the past. Other than that, every single one of you has been outstanding in your own way and shown a tremendous amount of support and love and appreciation within this community over the last year. And it's 100%. Had it not been for the Peekaboos Universe community, like being the founder of it, or even just being a community member of it, had it not been for the Peekaboos Universe community, I probably would not still be in the NFT space. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened over the last year, but having the Boo Crew, even though we've had some really ridiculous hard times, fault of my own, fault of other members of the team, what have you. Regardless of all of that, it's what we have here is genuinely incredible. People, like I said, I've received DMs recently about kindness and caring and everything not being enough in the space, which, yeah, I agree. We definitely need some sort of edge. We need a competitive aspect to it. I agree. But it is one value of the project that A, we are never, ever, ever going to let go of. But B, I think it's also what makes us the absolute strongest. Because time and time again, and maybe this time hurt us a little bit more than the last time, but like every time we've encountered great difficulty, this project has bounced back. The community has bounced back, and we've gone at it and we've tried something new. We've tried again, we've pushed forward. This change that we're making now is going to be the biggest change that we've made in the project. And hopefully it's the last one we have to make. Bringing everybody on board who is an existing holder to kind of discuss things and actually make the decisions. This should be this. It's an incredible opportunity, in my personal opinion, for the project. I'm not saying for people individually, like for the project as a whole, bringing the dedicated holders on board. The people, like the people that are sitting here pissed off about what happened. Those people, I want to have you guys in the town hall with us. I want you to be up here helping bring the ideas and make the decisions on the project and everything like that, because the ones that are pissed off are the ones that are looking at this and going, man, there was like 3 better options we could have taken there, and they chose to go with that one. That one's super stupid. Like, maybe we didn't see that, or maybe we had different reasons for coming to the conclusion that we came to. But the point is moving forward, that's not going to be the problem. Moving forward, it is going to be the community making these calls. Dom Liff, you said something earlier about extending the time frame on voting and everything like that. I don't know that we'll necessarily be doing a voting process, and let me explain what I mean by that. The point of the town hall is to have open discussion about these things. So we'll definitely leave it open. We'll leave it open for a time. Like, we're not gonna have a town hall and then act on a decision immediately. Well, depending on the decision, right? If it's a big decision, then yeah, we'll give it some time and everything and make sure everybody has the opportunity. If we're talking, essentially the way the team weighs it is like, if there's an adjustment that we want to make to the Discord server, or an adjustment we want to make to the Twitter account or something like that, typically that's we have a conversation and then we make that change. But even on the team end, before bringing in the community and everything, when it's came down to the project, like the mint itself or utility or stuff like that, those are conversations that even before involving the community, those discussions have been sat on for a week or a couple of days or multiple weeks before anything was done to them. And so that will be kind of the same effect that we're gonna put into place with the town hall. So the town halls will have their own individual discussion channels. So widely, that is going to be what the forums channel is used for, is for these different decisions we're going to be making. And eventually, once we as a community come together and decide how we want to structure this, the discussions channel is actually going to be gated to certain holders. So if you're someone who just owns one Peekaboo, like, I'm not trying to discriminate here or anything like that, but like, if you're somebody who owns one Peekaboo and you bought it, 2 days ago, the town hall's not open to you. The town hall is open to those of you, like, if you've held one but you've been holding one for the last year, the town hall is open to you because you're a community member and you are dedicated, and maybe you just didn't have the money to buy more, or buying more didn't make sense at the time. Or if you're someone like Mudbutt, I don't know how many holds now. I know he got super upset and put a bunch on the floor, but if you're someone like Mudbutt who is holding like 40 some odd pieces or something like that, you can bet your ass you're on the town hall. You are a dedicated member of the community. Domleaf, I know you hold a bunch, or a couple of Genesis and a couple of the Blackout, and stuff like that. So that's kind of how it's going to be going, and that's actually one of the first discussions I wanted to bring up to you guys. But before we kind of get more into that, NFT Crypt, Sauce Code, I know I saw some comms from you, not inside this chat, but separately. She Shed, Toth, are you guys comfortable with, also an OG, I got a legendary. Oh, hell yeah. There you go. Is everybody comfortable with the... I'll say the answer, because I'm not going to sit here and say that this is 100% resolved, because I'm sure people still have some feelings about it, and I'm sure we're still going to be talking about it for a while, and that's fine. That's completely fine. We will talk about it as long as we need to for everybody to feel better and feel comfortable again. But I do want to ask if everybody is comfortable with us moving on in this specific conversation to start talking about the next steps and how we're going to be structuring and setting up the town hall for the community in the future. And just so you guys know, as I was just saying, this decision is not going to be made today. This is a massive project decision. So essentially what's going to happen is we're going to have this conversation now. It is transcribed. It is also recorded. It is going to be made available in this channel. And we'll probably let this sit here for about a week. And then next week, we will come in on another town hall And we will kind of go through what additional comments have been left and kind of go from there. So anyway, before I get into all that, I just want to, if anybody doesn't feel comfortable moving on, just let us know now. Sorry I'm late, Brad Two Moon. You don't got to worry about it. You're all good, friend. Thank you for joining. Brad Two Moon, if you go over to the Boo Crew discussion channel and click on the Peekaboos Town Hall, you can follow along with the chat conversations that are going on. Are the holders channels still there, or are they gone? The holders channels are archived, I believe. We do still have them. They're just not in use right now. Again, the community doesn't have the community's not super strong right now. So we're trying to keep comms in one place to kind of help with that engagement, help with that activity. If we have people communicating in separate channels, it's fewer comms for the masses to see, and that can be a little disheartening. So yeah, for right now, it's all in one channel. Or I guess in this case too, because there's the discussion channel. But yeah. I did have one more thing. I'm not trying to be difficult, but I need to know if it seems worth my time sticking around. Okay. I think that question, if there's something specifically that I can answer off of this situation, like if you're needing something specific from the free mint situation, then we can continue talking about that. I actually feel like the points I'm going to bring up next would most likely help you with that decision process, and obviously take all the time you need to actually decide that for yourself. But I feel like understanding what our thoughts and ideas are for the next steps of the project, and understanding what the community's thoughts and ideas are for the next steps in the project, I think that will really be the information that'll help you kind of make that. In the genesis of Blackout collections, there are problems that have never been fixed. Will they ever be? What? Before we even, one of the biggest things we focused on before even launching the Blackout collection was fixing all the issues in the Genesis collection. So what are the issues? What are you referring to? Because we thought we had fixed everything. And I'm not sure what issues in the Blackout collection you're referring to at all, actually, because we actually haven't had a lot of comms about the Blackout collection, because it hasn't ever, until recently, it wasn't minted out. So yeah, let's dive into that real quick. I want to hear it. Wondered where you all were asking questions, moving on, drawing a line under what's happened, what's next. Brand 2 Moon, thanks for hopping in and joining us, man. I'm just going to call you Moon instead of saying your full name every time. Okay, I do remember you sending that list. Again, this is something we were massively focusing on before Blackout, and I do remember you sending that list. I'm actually pulling it up right now. Give me 1 second. Brand will be fine. Okay, I'll call you Brand, no problem. I think I know exactly what you're talking about, actually. I do. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, they will be fixed. Okay, so here is what that is. So there are, for everybody's information here, there are, I think it was roughly 800 pieces in total that we ended up going back through and redoing, which we had to manually redo them. And, oh, God, it was a process. It took like 2 weeks. Anyway, we had to manually fix things. That update has not been posted yet. You are absolutely correct. That is sitting on a file on my desktop. The only thing that's kind of paused on that right now is having the liquidity to make the update. Is literally what it comes down to. Is we got to go through and we got to re-upload some stuff and everything like that, which it actually shouldn't cost too much, and I think we are in the position to do that now. So hold on, I'm gonna look into it while we're all on the call right now, and I'll give you an exact answer. Give me 1 second. That's the wrong file. Why did I do that? It's this file. Peekaboos Universe. Okay, yep. So I have the final fixes folder, and I have the yeah. So I have the metadata and the art. I'm triple checking those right now. There are also a lot of problems with the Genesis collection, and I heard they are being worked on, but they haven't been done. I thought you were talking about the Genesis collection. You're saying you sent me a list for the Blackout collection? Where's the list for the Blackout collection? I don't know where that list was. Sorry, I was speaking to the Genesis collection. I have those fixes. I'm literally pulling them up in their file right now. The whip ones should have no problem. I mean, they're work in progress pieces. They just look how they look. So I'm not sure what issues. I've never heard any issues from those ones specifically. You had me open a ticket and write out the changes that needed to be made for the Blackout collection. Okay, yeah, that was stuff with like weird names and stuff like that, right? Okay, I'm going through the ticket transcripts real quick. Let me find that one. Operato. Do, 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 do. Am I okay? I do need to go back through and find this. I got to dig through a bunch of ticket transcripts. That's a King's Journey, Domlef, Rayo, Riffnell. Yeah, I got to dig through some ticket transcripts to find that. But am I correct in what I'm assuming here? It's the yeah, it was mostly edits to the names of things. Okay, yeah, that that's just a metadata fix. It is going to incur a gas fee, but it should well depends on how high gas is actually. But depending on gas, when we do that, it that can be done. That can be done rather promptly. Yes, I just need to go in, open up the file, and apply the edits. And I apologize that it has not been done yet. There's we've obviously been going through a little bit of turmoil and stuff, but I have the Peekaboos new upload right here for the Genesis collection with all the fixes. If there's anything wrong after this, I would genuinely be shocked, but let me load up and see what this is going to cost us. Let's go to go there, log in. Sorry. I have everything under multi-factor authentication, so it takes me a while to log into anything. But at the end of the day, I'd say that's probably a good reason to take a while to log into things. Okay. Okay, Blackout Art, Metadata, VIP Collection, and Genesis. Okay. Yeah, this will be easy. I just need to upload the new metadata and art and then point it. Wait. This says 6/3/2022 was the last time I updated. So, wait, hold on. Are the issues still there? Have you checked the Genesis since... It says the fixes are there. Gas is currently not that bad, but earlier on in the day is lower. Okay. Appreciate you bringing that up. I'm going to keep an eye on it for sure to apply those fixes. At the very least, I can go through and I can make sure to, for the Genesis, I'm not saying blackout, for Genesis. Genesis are not fixed. Okay. What on Genesis is pulling up is not fixed for you. Okay, that flame should be moving. Okay, no, you're right. Okay, this hasn't been updated because we did an update to make all the match flames and everything like that move, and they are not, so that means it hasn't been posted. So I guess I did actually go through and post an update, but I posted an old file instead of the new file. Sorry, that's all that was throwing me off. Is it said I had a recent upload, but it wasn't the right upload, so that's on me. Okay. So to do that, I gotta go in here. I should be able to do Genesis right now. Blackout is gonna take some time because I gotta go into the file and write it all out. But I am going to try and post. Let's do a folder, select the folder, desktop. Metadata, upload. I did check it before before uploading. Thank you for saying that, though. It's already been like 8 or 9 months. Okay, yeah. Hey, I wouldn't say it's been 8 or 9 months without any updates at all. Like, we've posted updates, we just didn't have everything fixed. We kept we kept running into situations where we would fix stuff and then somebody would point out something else. So that's when we went in and we took like a week and went through and categorized everything that was wrong, and then took 2 weeks to go through and fix it. And then it just looks like when I went and posted that, I did not post the correct file. So it hasn't been 8 or 9 months straight. We have made updates. It just hasn't. 8 months since June. That's on the Blackout collection. That's not Genesis. Well, yeah, you're right. Okay. Nope, you're right. All right, I'm going to shut up on that matter. You're right. On Genesis, yeah. No, you're right. Because before we launched Genesis, we made a commitment to making these updates. So you're right. My apologies. Okay. So moving forward, let's actually. Okay, so we're gonna put this down. So I am going to create a new post. This is going to be called the next steps. Enter a message. Here's what's happening moving forward. Okay. All right. And in here, upload. Hold on. I can't see what anybody's typing right now, so give me just a second. I'm typing down these things on a bullet list so that it gets posted in here. Genesis Final Fix upload, blackout, metadata, fix names. Okay. I'm going to post enter on that. We'll add to it as we go. Okay. Aside from those specific items, okay, so moving forward from our recent issue with the Mint, are we okay to move past to move on after the geez, I can't even think right now, I swear. The metadata and art fixes for the Blackout collection and the Genesis collection. We're good there. Source code C Shed, Thoth, Amp, and Domlift. We all good?
Yep.
Right on, right on. Okay. She Shed, thank you. All right, so the next thing, so the team has a couple of ideas, but I mean, this is like whatever decision gets made from here on out is it's not just going to be the team saying yes or no on it. It's going to be the community. So, as far as moving forward, like I was saying a little bit earlier, in order to really be able to build and do anything within this space and kind of progress ourselves even further, we need a way of we need liquidity. And we think we've come up with, aside from like secondary royalties and everything, which obviously secondary royalties come off the project actually having validity, hype, and strength and everything like that behind it, which in order to gain that, there has to be a way to build that, right? And so the way I think we could do that, and the way, we as the team have thought would be really fun, and can honestly grow into something a lot bigger, is an entertainment branch of the Peekaboos universe. And what we mean specifically by that is, I'm sure everybody here is familiar with TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, basically just short 60-second videos. And a lot of people post them of everyday life. There's a couple like animated ones that go out and do fun and just make wacky animations or whatever. We think or feel that Peekaboos universe could actually begin doing something like that, and involve aside from the actual decision making process of it, we could involve the community in a really fun way as well. Now, prior to going into a full explanation on this, I've been doing some heavy research and looking into it and everything, as far as what all it would take to get that done and everything. And other than having an animator, which I'm speaking with friends and colleagues and stuff, trying to track down an animator that would be willing to do this for us. Other than having the animator, I feel like I have everything worked out on the topic, and so we're going to go in and kind of discuss it and see what your guys' thoughts are overall. But essentially what this would start out as is Peekaboos Universe would have little animated shorts on TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. We would create little animated skits, and there's a number of different ways we could go about doing this. Primarily starting with the difference between 2D animation and 3D animation. Being that the Peekaboos are already designed in a 3D environment, it would be relatively easy to just make them 3D. But as far as animation style goes and everything like that, and being able to put out episodes a little bit faster with less time constraint on the actual creation of it, 2D would be the route to go on there. So there's a little thinking and talking point to be had, is either going 2D or 3D. The next part of it is what exactly these episodes would or these shorts would kind of entail. We could do a number of different things where one option being, each episode could be completely different. They're like not following a story at all. Like one episode, they're sitting around a coffee table break room doing whatever the hell they're doing. And then the next episode, they're, skydiving out of an airplane into a volcano or something, like just complete A to Z differences. The other option is we expand on the Peekaboos universe lore. and we actually start having it acted out in this animated world and really just drive the Peekaboos storyline and really tell the story in the environment that these Peekaboos exist in and were created in, and kind of have fun with kind of like an open world adventure game, which I will say I explored that idea very heavily. I actually wrote out 20 episodes um, just off of the main idea for Peekaboos, and I thought a really cool idea for this would be is that we'd essentially do 20 episodes a season. And each season would basically consist of a different adventure that the Peekaboos went on, but each episode would follow a specific storyline, which would be a fun way to do it. And then essentially what I thought is we would have the community. So this one and the next one have something to do very heavily with the community. So I have the first 20 episodes written out, which obviously if we decided to go that route, I would make it available to the community and they can vet it and say yes or no on it. But the other really fun part of this is I'm sure a lot of you have seen across the space there's a number of projects that do some form of storytelling or another. There's comic book based projects. There's really just like, this is my character and this is who he is and what he does and how he exists in the world. There's like stories are associated with almost every single NFT project. And so a really fun idea I thought would be is to have people create a backstory or a personality basically for, their specific NFTs, and even go further is to like write episodes or write adventures that we could then animate and put into this. And I would want to make this as community driven as possible. I don't think one person should be going out and writing episodes and stuff. Like if we go this entertainment route, which I think would be very viable for us, it would involve the community a lot. And so the third option, there was complete A to Z difference. Like, nobody knows what's going on. We're just animating a bunch of weird, wacky, crazy shit happening, which, has its own appeal. Then there's following the Peekaboos storyline and each season having a different adventure that the Peekaboos go on and stuff. Having the community provide characters and descriptions of characters, as well as even maybe writing an episode. And then the third option is just completely from the community. Like we do like contests or raffles where people essentially you get a creative writing assignment, or assignment seems like a derogative word to put on it, but essentially the community submits creative writing pieces, and then the rest of the community goes in and votes on which one is their favorite or whatever, and then we take that and we make a short skit out of it. And so those were the three ideas I had for it. Before I wrap up and just kind of open this up to everybody, the reason or the basis for this idea is that there are a number of companies that exist in Web 2 that started out just doing little animated YouTube shorts or even just like web series before YouTube was around. One of the most notable companies being Rooster Teeth. Started out just making we're talking couple minute episodes that they would just post on the internet on blogs and stuff like that. People would go and watch them and they gained a lot of popularity. I think it's a really cool idea for Peekaboos Universe to do this because not only would it enable us to express our brand a lot more, and stand out in the space, because there's not a lot of projects that I haven't seen any projects doing this specifically. I've heard about it, but I haven't seen any. So it would allow us to kind of set ourselves apart from other projects out there. And have some actual visual entertainment aside from like video games associated with the brand. It would also help, in my opinion, I think it would actually help bring a lot of additional awareness of the excitement and of the different ways that NFTs can be used in the space. It would bring that awareness to people who are not in the NFT space. So now, we're talking about onboarding and mass adoption and stuff like that. It would help. Basically, we'd be getting the brand out to, not just people who are already interested in NFTs, but just the entertainment world in general. People perusing on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff, which is really fun in and of itself. But the really awesome thing behind all this is that by doing this and gaining a following and everything, that those followings end up paying, and not a lot of money, but you can get money from views and engagement and even potential sponsorships and everything from brands if you get a big enough following behind the content that you're creating. And so this gives us an opportunity to build liquidity on the Peekaboos Universe brand, but not having to do it through a mint or anything like that. And obviously, there's finer details to go into with all of this. I'm just trying to explain it in the roughest way I can for people to get a generalized idea. So that's one of the ideas we have. I'm gonna shut my mouth now for a minute and let you guys give some feedback, or tell me I'm fucking stupid or something, and we'll go from there. What did you say on this? I think we missed it. What? What all have been accomplished on the Peekaboos project during the time at AVPs? What have people missed? Oh, yeah, I'll run back through that super quick. Plain and simple, we went into the AVP merge with basically a roadmap of what we were going to do as a combined project, and essentially we didn't get the opportunity to do any of it. So a lot of time in AVPs was spent figuring out, like, should we separate from AVP? Like, what are we going to do next? It's where the idea of this entertainment thing was kind of initially created. And so there wasn't a lot that happened for the project. There wasn't anything that happened for the project itself in that time. It was just a lot of like, well, this didn't turn out at all how, these guys were saying it would. And so now we need to figure out something else to do. So genuinely not a lot missed, Domliff. To me, it would be a much better to focus on a storyline like Peekaboo lore than just random stuff. But young people do seem to like that crazy random stuff. That's very true. I do also like the idea of getting storylines from the community, but we don't have many active members right now. I think it would be a great marketing draw as well. Again, it literally, like, screw just getting on NFT Twitter and talking to NFT Twitter people. Like, just, it allows us to get out to everybody. It also enables existing community members, existing NFT members, and people outside of the NFT space to fall in love with a character. And, when people fall in love with characters, all sorts of stuff happens. It would actually bring validity and necessity to our merch line and everything like that. And it opens up a lot of doors. But I do think the Peekaboos lore, the actual storyline, is the best way to go. Because, if you think in terms of entertainment, like, you want to follow something. You don't necessarily always go back to watching these animated shorts because you just want to see a bunch of random stuff happen. Like, you get hooked on these characters, you get attached to them, and you want to see what happens next in the story. And I think that's why that's the best route to go, in my personal opinion. But again, like I said, I wrote out basically season 1, which is the explanation of, like, who the Peekaboos are, kind of where they came from and everything like that. But from there, like, and obviously, like I said, I would hand it over to you guys. If we decide to go this route, I'll hand it over to you guys, and you guys can read through it. And if you want to make changes, if you think things should be different, then we'll change it and make it different. But I thought we could kind of if we wanted to go ahead and do this, then we would start with those first 20. And while those first 20 are rolling out, obviously people would kind of start to see Peekaboos popping up places. We'd have it all over our socials, and we'd put it everywhere we could, right? And the hopes would be that the community would be sharing that as well. But this would also have the effect of re-engaging the community. As soon as they see that Peekaboos Universe is becoming what's the word I'm looking for? Relevant. As soon as they see that there's movement happening and everything, my strong belief is that people will start to look at the project again and start to turn their attention towards the project again. Because I think you're absolutely right. There's not a lot of engagement right now. There's not a lot of people actually actively here. So it definitely poses an issue. We have to start small and build to what we can. I agree. It would be cool to see what the lore you mentioned is all about. Yeah, there's been a couple of different renditions of the lore, and I don't think it's ever been officially released to the community. It's been lightly discussed here and there a couple of times, but I'm not surprised that most people don't know what it is, because when it was released and available on Discord, there wasn't a lot of attention surrounding it. It is pretty interesting. I will be 100% honest. This wasn't something that the entire team came up with. This was something that I was sitting in my room late at night, and I started doing some creative writing, just thinking about what the Peekaboos could be, and I started writing stuff, and created something, and then now I've kind of built on it a little bit more. But it could obviously completely change. I'm kind of talking myself down right now because I don't know. Anyway, moving on. It would be cool to see. I've heard you mention it, but I haven't seen anything released. So actually, right here, right now, I will release the original document that was written over a year ago. I'll drop that in here for you guys to take a look at, actually. Um, I could also drop the file for what I've written as well. But let's go Peekaboos Origins. You guys have no idea how many files I have on my computer for Peekaboos Universe. And like just the piles of stuff I have to dig through to find exactly what I'm looking for. It's insane, to say the very least. There it is. Okay. Here you go. That's the original Peekaboos Universe storyline document that I released, or that I wrote over a year ago. Yeah, have at it. Don't judge me. I've never claimed to be a writer. The episodes that I've written, they don't follow that storyline to the T. Actually, hardly at all. But it does keep the same characters. So just a heads up on that. But again, that's why I'm saying we can really go anywhere with it. But this is something, obviously, this is a discussion that everybody needs to kind of be in on and everything like that. So this isn't, we're not going to decide to do the entertainment thing right here and today. Like I said, we're most likely going to sit on this for a week before any actual decision is made, and we'll just, be directing as many people to this chat channel as we can so that they can kind of get up to speed with what's going on and everything. So each of these episodes, I have what would happen in the episodes written out. I don't have the scripts written out yet, and that's because I didn't want to get too far with this if everybody decided they wanted to go a different way. So these are just like rough ideas of what would happen in each episode, and I'm about to post that here for you guys now. Mind you, in the beginning, while we're starting to build this and everything, it wouldn't be like, we're talking at the very maximum. Maybe it would be a 5-minute episode, but even then, you can't do that on TikTok unless we split it up in the 5 1-minute segments. But at the max, each episode would be just a couple minutes long, to kind of grab people's initial attention and everything until and this is just my idea. If you guys want to go a different route with it, we'll go a different route with it. But I'm totally okay with making half-hour episodes. It's whatever. But I think a good idea would be to start out with just shorts for right now, and that's why I'm calling them short stories in the document. Just little shorts, 5-minute max episodes in the beginning, and then when this begins to grow a following and grow in popularity and everything like that, then we can start to evolve and expand on the episodes, on the animation style and everything like that a little bit more. But gotta start simple, can't start super big. At least as teasers. Yeah, even that. Yeah, that's the thing, is we could do like 10-15 minute episodes, and just release like teasers and stuff on TikTok, and then just basically direct everybody to YouTube or something. We could totally do something like that too. I'm honestly glad to see you guys reacting positively to this because I actually wasn't entirely sure what you as the community, well, what the community in general would think about it. So I'm definitely appreciating that it seems to be that there's interest surrounding this idea. Sounds really fun to me too. I genuinely just think it would be cool, like little peekaboo videos, little peekaboo movies of them going on adventures and living in their crazy world that they live in. I think it also, again, it just opens doors. It opens so many doors. Use YouTube Shorts number one. Yeah, TikTok is kind of all over the place, and the algorithm is absolutely bullshit. So yeah, it would definitely be more prominently YouTube Shorts. Which the nice thing about YouTube Shorts is they can be longer than a minute. So there's definitely benefits there. And then we would cut up those shorts and post them as teasers and stuff on TikTok. We'd utilize every platform that supports some sort of short video experience. So again, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Facebook does too, but I hate Facebook for the NFT space. I don't know if any of you guys have ever gotten on Facebook to browse like NFT communities, but it's absolutely atrocious. More places is better for sure. I mean, we there is a Peekaboos Universe Facebook page. It's not used at all. Like we created it in case we needed it, but we've never used it. So if we choose to just post a bunch of stuff on there, we can absolutely do that. And I'll be posting all this stuff on my personal socials as well, obviously. But yeah, is there NFT community on Facebook? Not for Peekaboo's Universe specifically, no. But there are NFT groups. I don't know if any project has specific communities set up on Facebook, but I have ran into a couple of like NFT based communities and stuff on Facebook. And again, it's just weird. Like, picture Facebook. Facebook in and of itself, it's questionable as a social media platform in my personal opinion. I don't personally like it a whole hell of a lot, but it has its validity. But just picture the interactions and stuff that happen on Facebook, and then mix NFTs into that. It does not mesh. No, yeah, exactly. It doesn't seem the place for it. What's everybody think about this transcription bot? It seems to screw up a couple of things, but for the most part, I think it grabs it pretty well. For the most part, yeah. I mean, it's a Discord bot, and it's not going to be perfect, but I think it works pretty good. I thought this would be better than trying to have one person go through and write down key points and then post the announcement. I think it's a lot better if people can literally just look back through and see almost word for word exactly what was said. I'll say it definitely works better on shorter sentences. So I need to get better at talking a bit more slowly and putting more pauses in my conversations so that it splits up, because when you start doing the really long ones, that's where it seems to get a little screwy. I also recommend that everybody overall it gets a general idea. Yeah. It's going to be hard for someone to catch up that missed the meeting, though. Too long to read through. Yeah, like I said, it is also being recorded, and I'll post it on YouTube like I've done all of our AMAs and stuff in the past. Um, so yeah, it'll get out there. They can watch and just listen through. I am recording the Discord page itself, so when I'm responding to something you guys have written, they'll be able to look at the video and see what I'm most likely responding to. Um, but but yeah, I agree. It's a lot to read, so most people probably won't.
Craigbot can record the audio.
What bot?
Craigbot, it looks like a little bear.
Oh, nice.
I
Yes.
can I can bring it over if you want.
I thought about doing just audio recording, but I thought video was better just because, like, again, if I'm responding to someone in chat, I don't necessarily have to read out what that person said. They can just, when they're watching the YouTube video, they can see what is being written live and kind of get an idea from there. We could just switch over to just doing audio, though. It would basically be like town hall podcasts.
Just let me know.
I think it's good to have transcriptions too, because you guys can go back through and look at what I've said and everything if you forget or if you're trying to trying to ask a question and got to remember specifically what I said. Yeah. Or anybody. I just so you know, if anybody comes up here and says something, like you can see when Peaches started talking, it transcribed her as well. It's doing the entire session. So if anybody comes unmutes and is actually talking, it will transcribe what they're saying. And I plan on having this live in every single town hall we do, because eventually I think we will get to the point where everybody is just talking as opposed to typing. But we still need to have some sort of written idea of what was going on.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't really wanting to speak out loud, but I feel a little more comfortable now, I guess.
That's good. Nobody is required to speak. I think it's definitely a lot better in terms of communication to just actually talk. But of course, it is entirely up to you. But at the end of the day, I'm glad to hear you're feeling a bit more comfortable now. I love that you have the pre-reveal image as your PFP for the Blackout collection. I love that.
I just like that. I don't know. I've always liked that pre-reveal image, so I decided to keep it.
Right on. That is a legendary in the collection. I did notice that people really liked it, so we did make it a legendary in the. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost certain I made that a legendary. Hold up. Blackout. Peekaboos Blackout. Oh, well, it would help if I actually type Peekaboos in the right spot. There we go. Legendary.
I just noticed it translated my comment to say I did notice that. Oh no. I have always liked that preview image, so I decided to say hi, Nikki.
Yeah, see, it doesn't work super great, but it works for the most part.
Wow.
It's funny. I mean, it's what is it? Talk to text, it's voice dictation. That software, I mean, it doesn't even work correctly with Siri, on the iPhone, so yeah. I mean, hey, when we get a little more prominent and a little more profitable and everything, then we can go in and we can pay someone to actually just transcribe our conversations. But A, I don't think that'll ever be needed, and B, that does seem a little ridiculous. So anyway, did you have a chance? Did you read through it? NFT Crypt? Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I posted it in there. If everybody hasn't yet, then that's okay. But kind of gave you a general idea of what's been written out and everything. But I definitely want to leave that up as an idea. And so once we kind of close this down for the day and everything, I'm going to go in and I'll write a final post in this channel, and basically say like, here are the items that the community needs to be thinking about, and next week when we open up town hall, we'll decide to proceed, or we'll decide how to proceed. Anyway, that's how we'll end the session. The other thing that I think is important to talk about, if everybody's okay with moving on to the next topic. We all good there? Just thumbs up in the chat will work too. Thank you, Crypt. You think you Crypt? Wow, that dictation is bad. Okay. Recognizing that people are probably listening but not at their keyboard right now, I'm going to go ahead and push forward. If anybody wants me to kind of circle back to anything related to the entertainment idea, just go ahead and post a message and let me know. The next thing that I actually think we probably should have gotten to first before the entertainment thing was how we should structure those able to participate in town hall. And when I say town hall, let's have it be known that town hall is referring to the decision-making process of the project. And that is what town hall will be from here on out. We will, of course, have like AMAs or town hall meetings or whatever with the community as a whole, where we kind of talk and hang out with everybody. But we're not going to call it, we won't call those town hall. This town hall is going to specifically refer to the decision-making process, running the project. It's going to refer to running the project. So anyway, as far as that goes, I think we need to have some sort of, we'll say requirement, some sort of requirement for having a seat on that table, or at that table. And the reason for that is, again, I think it's important that the people that are the most invested and the most passionate about the project are the ones speaking for the project, are the ones, making the decisions for the projects. Which, my reference earlier of somebody who's owned one for 3 days, like that person's not going to be sitting at the table. But somebody who's maybe owned one for a year, depending on I don't know. So what should these metrics be based on? Should we do it based on being a holder? If you hold a Genesis and a Blackout. Obviously, OG is included as well, but there's fewer of those, and so I don't know if it's a good idea to make it a requirement to hold an OG in order to have a seat at the table, because at that point, we will never have more than 100 people.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
I do think there should be a quantity higher than one, though, because I don't know that you're going to be able to do lengths of holdership, especially if people transfer wallets and things like that. So I'm thinking maybe 5 NFTs, but I don't know. I'm just throwing something out there.
No, that's good. That's what this is for. Throw out any idea you have. So yeah, I definitely agree. I think quantities are a good idea too, but I felt bad saying that initially because I feel like, there are people in this space that have invested in something they're passionate about, but maybe they haven't had the money or the time to continue investing. And so I'm trying to be as inclusive as I can because I'm trying not to upset anyone further. At the end of the day, anything that we do, it's one person will get upset at the minimum. It's gonna happen. But my desire is to mitigate that as much as we possibly can. Anyway, I definitely like the idea of having multiple NFTs as the gate. Now my question then comes in is it like 5 in total? So you could have 3 Genesis and 2 Blackout, and that gets you a seat, or are we talking 5 Genesis, 5 Blackout, or what are your thoughts there? And this is open to everybody, by the way. Thoughts across the board, not just me and NFT Crypt.
Okay, well, if nobody else is going to jump in, my thought was the reason I said 5 NFTs was to say that they could be any of the NFTs in the collection. Obviously, you could make an exception if somebody had like a legendary or something, then that could also grant access. But I'm thinking, otherwise just 5, or you could say, a lower number of Genesis or a higher number of Blackout, because it's sort of probably going to be less expensive, that type of thing.
Right. The other benefit, I guess we could say, to having it gated is depending on what we set that limit at, we're going to see as the project begins to build more popularity and everything, we're going to see our floor price start to fluctuate for a number of reasons. You know, it's going to fluctuate because I think She Shed had to go. I think it got late for them. We're going to see it fluctuate because it's gaining in popularity, and so people are sweeping off the floor. And we're also going to see it fluctuate because, you know, people are wanting to hold more pieces so that they can be on town hall. Which, you know, obviously has its benefits and everything, which is where I had the idea of maybe even having it be a little bit higher or whatever. Because at the end of the day, the reason I'm saying that is at the end of the day, you know, if we have it open to people that just hold one, then we could have, you know, 1,600 people trying to talk in these town halls, which is not a bad thing. I would be more than happy to have, you know, hundreds of people in the community like wanting to come out and do this. But at some point with a lot of people, it does get difficult. And so obviously when we get to a higher volume of people making decisions or giving input, we would have to put something else in place. We would have to have like an actual, like a voting bot or something in order to make sure everybody's opinion was heard. And anyway, so, token gating is a good idea. 1, definitely probably not the way to go. 5, definitely more reasonable for right now. But definitely the possibility, because like I said earlier, we have, as far as holders go, most people, I actually don't know that we have anybody that just holds one. Most people hold more than one NFT. Everyone's voice needs to be heard, but it's important to have more invested people have more input. Yes, that's essentially what I'm getting at. I appreciate you saying that as well, Domlef. Anyway, on the track of what I was saying, multiple people hold more than one. We actually have a really solid average. I want to say around like 6, between 6 and like 14. We have quite a few holders that are holding that amount. And this is I'm calculating between both collections, not just one of them. But then of course you get the rare people like CD. I don't know how many he still holds. I think he still holds probably 17 to 20. And then Mudbutt, you know, should all of his end up selling or not? You know, who knows what's going to happen there. But he currently holds somewhere around 40 in total. So yeah. There was just kind of my thoughts there of, I guess, yeah, in the beginning, I think a good number would probably be 5, just for getting us started and everything. And then as popularity grows and as all that grows, maybe we can come back to and reevaluate the credentials necessary for being a part of Town Hall. But if people are comfortable with that, then we could definitely, I'll add that to be thought over for the next week.
The only thought that I would have that might be different, and I know I was the one that came up with 5, but when you said, you know, how many people could be in the town hall meeting trying to speak over each other, that could be very chaotic, and it may be better to start with a higher number and come down rather than going the other direction, just because people could get upset if you know, went from 5 to 10 or something like that, you know, and people get kicked out.
Yeah. Okay. I see your point. That's a very good point. Okay. So let's get an average for right here. Like, I'm just going to kind of go down the list. I hope, whoever is not actively listening or next to their keyboard, I'm sorry if we're unable to get your answer, but let's literally just go down the list right now and get a rough idea. Type it in the chat how many each of you hold, so that we can get a rough idea of what's right here, and we can possibly base it from there. I'm not going to put my number down because I hold a lot. Just to be clear, that was a sarcastic joke because I'm the holder of the project wallets. And they currently are the vaults that have, oh geez, our Genesis, I think we have like 165 of them. For Blackout, we hold a lot less actually. For Blackout, Peekaboos Universe, the Genesis wallet holds, I think, 40 Blackout boos. And then the Blackout Boo wallet specifically holds somewhere around like 80. 1 OG, 1 Legendary of Genesis, 7 Genesis, 4 Blackout, 13 in total. Domleaf, right on. Love that, bro. By the way, if you haven't in a while, I encourage everyone to just like go back. I know it's not fixed right now. I'm sorry. That's on the list. We're gonna do it. It's gonna get done. And you know, we have the whole community to sit here and hold us accountable now. 7 Genesis, 64 Blackout. Holy shit. I imagine that came from airdrops because the way we structured that is if you held a certain number of Genesis, we airdropped you a certain number of Blackouts. So, goddamn, source code right on, bro. That's nuts. 64 Blackout. Oh, wow. Z, how many Blackout do you hold? Same with you, Peach. I'm actually curious.
I actually was just looking on. I was in Alpha Shark this morning, and I was just like, going to sleep, see if it would be cheaper over there. But I have 37. I had 40 something. I gave a bunch away to people to get them into it, but I'm at 37.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, Z is a tricky one to navigate because he'll buy them up off the floor and then he'll go and he'll run giveaways and stuff and give them away to a bunch of his alpha communities. It's a good time. 30 Blackout. That's to be expected. Brand, how many Genesis do you hold, or do you hold any Genesis? It's possible that you don't. We have to be aware of that fact. Is it's possible that people that are here now don't actually hold Genesis or OG. Oh, something really cool about this bot, by the way, because I realize maybe not everybody in the Discord speaks English. Something that's really cool about this bot that's doing the dictation is it can also do translation. So if we want to set that up, we can actually transcribe what we're saying in different languages as well, so that we can be more inclusive of people. Just as a random side note benefit. So far what we're seeing is, I mean, it seems like we could probably start around 10. Like a lot of you are holding quite a bit, especially when we calculate Blackout, because if you were holding, I mean, Domleaf, you were holding 7 Genesis boos, so you got airdropped Blackout boos, and possibly didn't even mint. Because of that, which, that's what it was there for, is to give the community some free Peekaboos. But it seems like we could probably start around 10 as a number and just do it as, a combination. So of Genesis and Blackout, if you have a minimum of 10, you could be on.
I was thinking to do maybe an amount, but also if you hold less than an X amount, also holding period.
So I like the idea of holding period because that definitely shows your dedication to the project outside of just, you have more money than somebody else. I don't. I joined you guys 3 months ago whilst Blackout was minting. Oh, right on. That's right. I remember. Peaches brought you. You're Peaches' friend. I know who you are. Okay. So I definitely like holder period. NFT Crypt did make the statement that can be a little bit harder to calculate. By harder, it just means it's a little bit more time consuming because we have to go in. We can view how long people have been holding, and we could also do a snapshot thing where we do like a bi-weekly or a monthly snapshot, and then we could set a requirement for 3-month holder or 6-month holder or whatever. We could do something like that. As well, if you don't hold as many, which as we kind of progress and grow a little bit more, I think that could definitely be a good entry point, just off the top of my head thinking, just because, again, we're going to run into people that don't have as much money, but, still have a lot of passion about the project. But even then, we're going to be running a lot of giveaways, guys. We're going to be, there's definitely going to be an opportunity to get some more Peekaboos and stuff, so we could probably just leave it at a number. I don't know. There's options. This is why I love discussions. There are options. And I'm going to type this out in the next steps channel, so I have that out. So, token gating town hall. Town hall. What is min holding amount for a seat at the table? As well as Peekaboos Entertainment Branch. I can't type. Thank God for spell check. Okay. Everything that's being posted in the next steps, I'm going to copy and paste over to this chat once we get done with the call, and then I'm going to delete that channel, so don't worry about that. Oh, it just reconnected. That's weird. Oh, it's because I switched out of it, I think. Interesting. Actually, looks like I only have 5 blackouts at the moment. At the moment. I love that. I love how you said at the moment. We can change that. We could definitely change that. We could definitely do something where, like, obviously NFT Crypt, you seem to have a lot of interest in having a seat at the table, and I think, like, you've obviously shown passion. Yeah, I think there are a number of metrics we can go off of, because you've definitely shown passion. Like you said, you wrote up lists of errors for us to fix. Like, you've gone out of your way to, like, you could have just sat there and done your own thing and been upset about something, but you've come up, you've spoken out on your thoughts and feelings about the project. You've put forth effort to help the project. Like, that's definitely a metric to recognize as well. Haven't had much liquidity. See, exactly. You're the person I'm talking about. The people that don't have a lot of money but still have a lot of passion. So I think there can be different ways of gating, but I think the initial one could definitely be a holding number, and we could set that. We could set that holding number at like 10 for right now. Even though there are people that hold a lot more, we could even set it a little bit higher. And then just go off of other metrics for other members. Like, again, NFT Crypt, you obviously have a passion and an interest. Moon, I've spoken to you on numerous occasions. I know that you do have an interest in the project as well, out of your love and support for Peaches, and maybe even a developed love for Peekaboos as well. Domlif, say we were to set it at 20, but you only have 13. Like, dude, you've been on the midnight calls with me back when, the community, a couple members of the community would get together and hang out on the phone till like 2 a.m. just talking. Like, yeah. I think there are definitely other metrics that we can go off of for sure. Engagement can even be one once the Discord kind of picks up a bit more. We have people that they're just in there every day. They're hanging out, talking to everybody, having a good time. Like, but maybe they only hold 3 or 4 and they don't have the liquidity. Like, we could definitely look at engagement as a metric as well. So instead of saying the minimum amount, I'll say minimum amount, min holding amount, or other metric for a seat at the table. So those are 2 pretty big things that are going to be really pivotal. Obviously, like the actual town hall aspect, these things are going to be really, really pivotal towards the decision-making process in the project. We're not going to load up too much on this call. I'll actually be looking to end this town hall here relatively soon. Before I do that, I'm going to... Okay, so let's bring up one more thing. One more thing for everybody to be kind of thinking about for the next week, but we'll get a general idea of it now. A day and time to do the town hall. So I think doing town hall once a week is a really good idea. I'll say right now, our team meetings, the way we used to run it is we would have 2 team meetings a week, one at the beginning of the week, one at the end of the week. But now that we're involving the whole community, I think what it'll be is we'll have one town hall meeting, but then the town hall chat, of course, will be open for you guys to go in and for us to be, continuing to have discussions and stuff. And if we need to schedule second calls, we can do that as well. But I'm wondering if it's possible on this call here to get a rough idea of what everybody is thinking about, maybe a day and time that we can agree to do this weekly. Which, honestly, kudos to all of you guys. By the way, we've been doing this for 2 hours now. Only one person has dropped out of the call, and that's because it got really late for them. I've spoken with Shished on conversations before, and I know that this time of day is really late where they are. Domly, if you're in the Netherlands, I think it's getting pretty late for you, too.
Yeah, it's past 10 now.
Yeah. So what are some days and times that everybody thinks? Like, should we stick to Sundays? I don't know if Sundays would be a good idea because I know Metal Ants is someone who I would have loved to have on this call. But Sundays, they do a lot of stuff with their family on Sundays. So maybe Sunday wouldn't be a great day.
I don't know, because there are also other projects I'm part of, you know?
Yeah, and there's other projects.
And they hold town halls as well.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of trying to figure it out. And, we probably, at least not anytime soon, I don't think we're going to get to a point where everybody's always available on the same day at the same time. But I think having consistency in this regard is going to be important. So at least everybody knows when it is happening. And like I said, like if people aren't able to attend, there is going to be the chat channel available for people to come in and speak. Follow up on what's happened and everything. So
You want every week or every 2 weeks?
I think weekly is the way to go. Just because, like, if we have a decision and we're like, okay, we're going to sit on it and we're going to make it. Decisions, they need some time for everybody to be able to comment and give feedback on it and everything, but they also can't sit for too long, if that makes sense. Yeah, consistency is definitely best. So I think weekly is the better idea. Literally just like, for example, not saying this, but like every Sunday at it's 12 p.m. It's 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time right now, but we started at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So, every Sunday at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time is when this event goes live. Something like that, where just everybody knows, like, they can literally, there's no like, oh, I got to go check and see what day it is this week. Just everybody can know this is the time and day that it is every single week. This is when they know they can chime in and that kind of thing. So,
All right.
It doesn't have to be Sunday. I'm just wanting to get, like, does anybody have... I don't think we should do Sunday because Metal Ants is someone that I really think should be a part of this. And recognizing that I know for a fact they are busy on Sundays. Is there maybe a day that works better for those of you that are in this chat now?
Well, I'm not every Sunday available. But, yeah.
Right, and like I said, not everybody's always going to be available every single time, and that's why we're going to leave. That's why we're doing it weekly, because in the middle of the week when we're not having the meeting, the chat channel is going to be open. We can still be texting and messaging about it and kind of working stuff out in there before the actual town hall itself. So if anybody has points or anything they want to make sure are heard or that they get across, we will be able to, look back at the actual chat and see that stuff going forward. So, Saturdays can definitely work. I know that they do work for me. I do also know that weekends are typically a better time versus Z as well, because that guy's always busy running his coffee shop, but he seems to have a bit more free time on the weekends. Peaches has her job, and she's a majorly important person at her site as well, so weekends are probably a better time for her. What about Saturdays? Fridays at this time is good for me too. I can do Friday. So, on the weekdays, I get off work at 1 p.m. I start work at 3 a.m. and I get off work at 1 p.m. my time, which is super rough, but I love the job. It's a lot of fun. So I can, any day, that is not a weekend. So Monday through Friday, I won't be available until after 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So that's my only thing. So if we were to do Fridays around this specific time, Fridays around 2 p.m., I could do that. I could definitely do that. And again, we're not going to come to a decision now. I'm just trying to get some rough ideas, but it seems like everybody is kind of a little more in favor of doing a weekend instead of a weekday, which I think is definitely a good idea. At this point, I'd say it's between Friday and Saturday. I would like to keep Sunday off the table because I do think that is the day that a lot of people try and wind down and get ready for the week that's starting. So Friday or Saturday would probably be a better idea. Yes, you can. Sorry, somebody just texted me. So, okay. I'll put that in there as well. Saturdays or Sundays, I can't spell, for weekly town hall. Okay. Fridays. Peaches likes Fridays. If we did do Fridays, yeah, it would be Fridays at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, to be clear. Which,
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, because Saturdays I'm trying to veer a little bit away from Discord, but that's just me personally. So that's why Fridays, it's like, well, it's a weekday or a weekend. It kind of works out.
Yeah. Yeah. Fridays, everybody's kind of winding down, getting ready for the weekend. And then Sundays, everybody's trying to relax from their weekend and get ready for the weekday. So, yeah. No, I feel that. Okay. So, yeah. Fridays could definitely be better. Again, this is going to be an open discussion for the next week. I'm sure a lot of people are going to have feedback and stuff. So we'll just kind of base it off of that. Okay, other than those topics, that's everything I had for this town hall. Everything that I think we should at least hammer out and get discussed in this specific town hall meeting. If anybody else has any other points that they want to bring up that they think we should be thinking over for the next week, the floor is yours, or the text channel is yours. Let us know if there's anything we should add to the thought process for this next week. And then if we get no responses or anything, then we'll go ahead and wrap up. Okay, could definitely do a poll. Peaches, that bot is still in our Discord, right? We still have the voting bot in here somewhere. I ask you because you're the Discord superstar.
Yeah, sorry, my phone was locked and I couldn't unmute. Sorry. You can do a voting bot even just with Dino.
Oh, okay. I will probably hand that off to you to organize because honestly, when it comes to setting up giveaway bots and poll bots, I, for whatever reason, just have massive brain farts the whole time.
So, yeah, we just list the potential times, I suppose.
Yeah, and we'll put that at the bottom of this. So once we close out this call, we'll put it at the bottom of this chat channel. Because I don't want to put it in there now and then us talk for 30 more minutes and have it get buried. So,
right.
Or maybe we can also just create a completely separate channel for voting. Okay, let's get a quick idea of that. I think that's a small decision that's involving the Discord. That's a decision I think we could make now. What do you guys think? Should we have the voting done in the town hall, or should we create a separate channel that's it's literally just votes? And again, not every decision we make.
In my opinion.
Okay. Not every decision is going to require votes. Just some of them, obviously, like something like this, is going to require a vote to get everybody's availability. I think a new channel for vote. So the only reason I would say if it's not in this channel, it would have to be a new channel. And the only reason I say that is we would have the votes gated as well. So again, only the people that are able to see Town Hall will be able to see the vote channel. So I wouldn't do it in announcements. And we'll create a role for it too. We don't have a specific gate for it right now, but I think we will go through and we'll create the role, and I'll go through and I'll assign it to those that attended today, and we'll go through and we'll have a little town hall role. Maybe we'll make it gold or something. But we'll have a town hall role that will be held next to your name, and we'll have it display separate in the Discord as well. So it's just it's a prestigious role. It is an important position within the community. So, okay. It doesn't seem like anybody has anything else that they really wanted to bring up for this week's thought process. So we will go ahead and wrap this up here. Again, all information that is to be kind of discussed or thought about over the next week is going to be posted in the bottom of this. We're going to create a separate channel for the vote itself. And that will come here very shortly. Either Peaches is working on it now, or she's a badass. She'll get it done. Anyway, yeah, so I'll post all relevant information at the bottom of this. I will begin uploading the recording as soon as I close this down, and I will make the link available. Again, the channels are not going to be gated as of yet. We are going to wait till next week when we make that decision to then go ahead and gate the communities. So just a heads up on that. But other than that, honestly, thank you everyone thank you everyone who joined in on the call. I'm honestly really excited to make this pivot and to take this step in the project. Honestly, I kind of wish we had done it a while ago, because I think it's going to provide a lot of awesome opportunities for everyone, and a really awesome growth opportunity for the project itself. So you guys are amazing. I'm super excited to be speaking with you all throughout the week, but again on our call next week. And yeah, from there, I hope everybody has a phenomenal rest of their Sunday or whatever day it is for you. And let's move on and have a great fucking week, and let's start building, and let's move forward and do awesome things. We're going to start small, take some baby steps, but it's going to be awesome. So thank you, everyone. If anybody else has some closing thoughts, go ahead. Hell yeah. I love that love. Z, Peaches, anything from you guys?
Yeah, right now. Thank you for everything.
Yeah. Right on. I think Z is otherwise occupied. He's probably cooking dinner with the missus or something. So, all right, folks, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. You guys are fucking awesome. I will catch you in the Discord channels and on the call next week. So let's have a great fucking week, and I'll catch y'all later. Later, leave.
Okay.
I forgot I have to actually end the event. End event. What to be thinking about before next week's town hall. Period. Town hall, gating, credentials, qualifications. Town hall, meeting day and time. Genesis upload. Peekaboos